Hi, I'm Brent Johnson. Today we're at First Presbyterian Church of Evanston, and with me is Andrea Handley. You are a former organist here, correct?
Correct.
How long were you the organist here?
I was here from 1983 to 2007.
Okay, so you got to know this instrument really well.
Pretty well.
Go through a little bit of rebuilding that was done here in the church as well, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, what we have, just reading the history, it's an Aeolian-Skinner from 1958.
It is.
So we have a Whiteford Skinner. It was after the G. Donald Harrison era.
Yep.
A couple of years, but it has some old pipes in it. What else do we have in this instrument?
It's got some pipes from the early 20th century Johnson organ, including the flute celeste, and some stops from the Holtkamp 1940 instrument.
Aeolian-Skinner reused a lot of the old pipework that was here. Well, that's great. Well, I'm anxious to hear it. I heard it this summer during the North Shore Regional Convention, which was fantastic. Vincent Dubois played the closing recital in here, and it was just wonderful to hear. And so I'm excited to hear it a little more in specifics. So why don't we start over there on that side of the organ, and we'll start with the grate. It's the grate. Now, does the facade play in this organ, I guess? Do you know?
Yes, except for those straight pipes at the end, which
so
you will notice are
well, those are. I assume those are within the 16-foot pedal stops in there. So,
yes.
So everything else is inside. All right. Well, let's just start with the grate principle, the 8-foot, and let's hear that. Yeah, nice bright 1950s sound there. And then we come on up with the 4-foot on top of that.
And the 2.
Super octave. A nice bright clear ensemble. And then we have 2 mixtures in there. What do we have on that side?
Furniture.
And then the 3-rank sharp makes a nice brilliant cap on that. So yeah, very Aeolian-Skinner ensemble there. There's nothing real surprising. We also have a 16-foot in the grate, correct?
We do. It's a quint.
Let's hear that by itself. Yeah, definitely a quinty sound there. Well, let's hear what that whole principal chorus, including the 2 2/3, then sounds like with both mixtures. Nice big bright sound. And then we do have a reed that I believe was not original, if I read the history right.
The enchimad or the trumpet?
8-foot.
That I'm not sure about. I know the enchimad is not original.
Okay, well, let's listen to the 8-foot. Wait, 3, 2, and then a bombard. Is that the same? What is top G? So that's the pedal. The pedal 16-foot was then extended up to 8-foot, so we would have a reed. So that was an Aeolian-Skinner thing to do, to not include a reed on the grate. So I guess somebody decided they needed to fix that. And then yes, we do have another added reed, the trumpet enchimad, which is it's had a couple of iterations.
It has, and this one was early 80s because the organist at the time, Bill Evans, was not crazy about the previous one, which I don't think was original either.
No, I know Cassavan put one in at some point.
Okay, and it was not, he didn't feel like it was a good enough blend with the organ. So and it was an actual enchimad. But this one is hooded and inside, so.
Still bright, piercing sound, though. You know where it's coming from.
It is.
All right, very good. Well, that's all of our grate division then. Let's go over to the choir and tell me what we've got in the choir.
The Aeolian and Aeolian Celeste, and then a viola and viol da gamba, and those used together are a nice sound too.
The choir is expressive, so you can close those down to get a nice, gentle sound. Really useful. Okay, what else we have?
8-foot roar flute, and then 4-foot flute, 2-foot,
the little chipper flute chorus there. All right, and then some mutations to go with those flutes. I assume.
Yes. Nazard. Tierce.
Décomposé cornet there, you can build up in any style you want.
Yeah, it's a very nice.
Yeah, that's lovely. Okay, and then we don't really have a principal chorus in this division, but we do have a 4-foot press stand, which combine with the flute and the string. Does that work? No. And that gives us a little bit of a principal sound, because we do have a 3-ranked cymbal that goes on top. So, what would you put together with that most effectively? It sits on top of the flute chorus.
Yes.
Really well. All right. And then we have a couple of reeds in here, at least. We have.
Well, clarinet.
Nice.
And Shamai.
We hear the bottom of that 4-foot roar shalmai. Yeah, it's a colorful stop. Okay. And then there's 8-foot.
Bombard.
Bombard.
As compared to.
Yeah, it's a very different, interesting sound. But it's nice to have that big trumpet in the choir. Okay. And then the great trumpet's available in the choir as well, so
Correct.
you can pick and choose.
As well as the enchilada.
All right. Well, that's everything in the choir, so I'm going to come around to the other side so we can see what's going over here. So over on that side, we have a nice full swell. Tell me what stops we've got there, starting down at the bottom.
Flute Celeste, which I mentioned, it was the old.
Johnson flute celeste.
And that's open all the way, so that's closed.
Really gentle. It's an amazing sound
really
from 1895 there, but I guess I'm always impressed with how quiet some of those late 19th century organs were. It was a quieter world back then.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, and going on from there?
The viol d'ambre and viol celeste. That's alone. It's almost always used with the flute celeste, which warms it up.
And nice to have sort of a big and small undulating pair, both in the swell
exactly.
and the choir. Yeah. All right.
Flute. Four-foot flute. No 2-foot flute, but
Is it 2-foot 15th to go with that? Okay. So we have a principal chorus in the swell as well, based
Yes.
on 8-foot Geigen. Okay. And then finally capped with a plangou of 3 ranks. Just curious, for echo purposes, what does that sound like over here with the flutes? Authoritatively. Very different sounds, but useful little sort of echo combinations. Okay. And then we have some reeds in the swell.
hautbois. At 8 and 16.
Okay, lovely to have that low 16 sound down there. Okay, and then an 8-foot trumpet.
As compared with the great and the choir.
Oh, yeah, nice to have all those 3 different sounds in there of trumpet sound. Okay, and then
Clarion.
has a 4-foot clarion. And then finally our vox humana. It's automatic tremolo. There's no other way to use it. Okay. Well, that's the swell division then. Let's come over to the pedal and tell me what we have in the pedal. Now, I know there's some digital things that have been added to enhance sound a little bit, but most of it's real or borrowed from the manuals. Tell me what we've got in there.
Principal 16. Principal.
That's obviously our facade pipes I can hear.
Yes. Principal 8 with it. You want with or separate?
Okay, so with it's fine.
And then chorale bass.
Let's add the mixture to that too. Nice clear sound. Okay. We have some flute stops in here. 16
Yes.
Borden, is it?
Yep. This one is split. That's where it splits, I think. And a very soft gedeckt.
That's in the swell, so you can make it even softer if you need to.
Yeah. And then the 8-foot flute borrowed from the swell. Um, 8-foot Borden. Independent. 4-foot flute. 2-foot flute.
Are those all independent? Or are they? Okay.
I believe so.
All right, very nice.
And violone at 16. And 8.
Take that all the way down to the bottom.
Gets bigger.
That's a great sound. Okay. That's all our flues then. And then we have a few reeds, again, borrowed things.
Oh, we forgot the quint. There's a
I didn't
quint.
see that down there.
This is borrowed from the great.
That's the great quench. Okay. And then there is a 32, but that's the digital. So I'm seeing the Borden 32 at the bottom.
Yes.
We do have a 16-foot bombard, which says it's from the great. Originally, from what I read, it was pedal only and then was, brought to the great. So that's what that's. It's marked as great now.
Right.
Nice big sound. Because you can't play that 16 in the great, that seems like a strange marking, but I guess that's just letting us know that it is the same style.
Right. Yeah.
And then that's available at 8-foot as well.
Correct.
We have and 4-foot is our clarion.
Yeah. Same one.
And then, so all of that makes a nice big unit. And then we've got the oboe at 16.84 as well, so you've got a softer
Right.
growl if you need it.
Do you want to hear that down there?
Which again, in the swell box, you can knock that down if you don't want it to be so loud. And it's not that loud as it is. All right, I like that. And then finally, of course, the Rohr Shalmai
From the choir, which
for all your trio sonata needs is there ready to go. Well, this is an amazing instrument. It's neat to see it up close and see where all these sounds are coming from. It's definitely a 1958 sort of sound. It's got a lot of upper work, a lot of brightness, but it's still very full and complete as an instrument. And this organ was a gift of William H. Barnes, the famous organ author, but his family donated it in honor of his parents, I believe, or in memory of his parents. And so, yeah, of course, he lived here in Evanston. So we see his fingerprints all over things all over town. So, but yeah, a really great example, and I'm glad it's been preserved here. A few little modifications. I know we've had a new electrical system installed.
Yes.
Was that done during your time?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, it makes a world of difference to have everything available and working and lots of memory levels. So
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, I can't wait to take around, look around inside. But first, I'd like to hear a little bit about what it can do. So getting into the organ is fairly simple. There's a closet back here behind the sanctuary. You have to move a few things out of the way, but a door takes you right into the organ. The first thing we see are some stairs, and we're presented with the choir box wall. So we go up one level, open the door, and this is the choir division. It's divided with 2 chests in the choir. With nice tall chambers too, with shades all the way across the front. Regulators above for the pipes that are above us. There's a ladder that takes you down if you need to get underneath the chest for any maintenance work. The viola celeste, which goes down all the way to 8 foot. A nice little luxury. We didn't notice that at the console. Then there's a door, and it takes you out to where the pedal pipes are. And it looks like these have had a little bit of revoicing with some wooden beards added to the front of the pipes. And then there is a ladder here next to the door. You can go out and climb up the side of the case, but that's actually not necessary. So now we're back outside the choir. We're going up to the next level. And this takes us up to the level of the impost of the case where the facade pipes are planted, and to the great chest. We're looking into the swell, and then out through the facade there. Have to step over the tiny pipes of the great chest, being very careful not to step on any or kick any pipes. And just like the choir, the swell and the grate are divided on 2 main chests. Another look at the facade and some former lighting that's installed. And here's one of our speakers for our digital pedal stops. Up there are more pedal pipes, and there is the Enchimade trumpet. To continue across, there's a precarious little walkboard here. We stand in the central tower of the facade, and then step over to the walkboard on the other great chest. You see more chests there again, 4 facade pipes on this side. Not every pipe in the tower is speaking. About half of them, it appears. Just looking back at the great pipes and into the swell chamber. Now we'll make our way back over to the walkway. Again, stepping over this chasm in the middle of the grate. Continuing on, there's a little ladder there on the left. We're going to go up that ladder, and that gives you access to this walkboard. We see the top of the swell chamber, and these are pedal pipes. And we could see those from below just a moment ago. And that's as close as I got to those pipes. Up here, however, I noticed the tuning sensor. It gets the temperature of this pipe and adjusts the Walker Digital to match the pitch of the pipes as they move with the temperature. So that ladder also takes us up to this walkboard where we walk across. Pedal pipes to our left, and there is another chamber door. We climb up and open that door, and this gets us into the swell chamber. Now we're at the walkboard level. The pedal gedect is there behind us. A very similar arrangement to the choir down below, with 2 chests and offsets on the back and the sides. And nice big shade openings. A little offset there for some trebles. And here's our Vox in a box. This one I can get into. And there we see the pipes of the Vox Humana. Guess they didn't want the box closed quite all the way, so there's a wedge there keeping it open. And here's the other chest in the Swell. We have our 8 and 4 reeds over here, as well as some of those Johnson strings that we heard. 8-foot strings here along the back. And then a door on this side of the chamber as well, and that takes us to the top of the pedal pipes. And then we see the chimes. And then there's that ladder that we could get to from the door in the choir. So you don't need it to get up here, but I suppose if you need to get to the top of the pedal, that's handy. And there's our Swell motor. Some mechanics for things that are up above this chamber. One last look around before we head out the door and back down the stairs. Now on the way out, I noticed something I didn't see on the way in, and that is the distinctive cover of a Walker digital system. It controls the electronics for the digital voices, and there are the amplifiers for the speakers, tucked away neatly back there. Andrea, thank you so much for coming in. Kind of on short notice today. This was not the way we normally plan things. The normal organist here is very busy, but you live right across the street, I understand. So this wasn't, at least if not a big commute. Thank you so much for coming in.
Glad to do it.
And showing off this wonderful instrument. And I hope everyone appreciates it. If you love the great job she did, then be sure to give us a thumbs up down below. And while you're down there, make sure you're subscribed, because I think there's still some more organs from Evanston, maybe even from this church, coming out. So you'll want to catch those. So you can do that by subscribing, and make sure you click on the bell for notifications. And if you want to become a sponsor of Organ Media and help us make more videos like this, you can do this by going to organ.media and clicking on support. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, so we depend on your support to get to great places like First Presbyterian and see organs like this one. Until our next video is out, though, remember you can find streaming classical organ music on our 3 stations, organlive.com, Positively Baroque, and The Organ Experience. Thank you again, Andrea. It was great meeting you and hearing this organ.
Glad to do it.
I look forward to hearing a little more. Until next time, I'm Brent Johnson. Thank you for watching.